told you there's a secret facility hidden in the middle of nowhere that some believe has the power to control the weather, trigger earthquakes, and even manipulate human thought? It might sound like something out of a sci-fi thriller, but this theory has persisted for decades, pointing toward one controversial project: HAARP, the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Officially, HAARP is a research facility in Gakona, Alaska, meant to study the ionosphere, the part of the Earth's atmosphere that plays a key role in radio communication. But many believe that the real purpose of HAARP is far more sinister. Could it be a government-controlled weather modification weapon? Could it be responsible for hurricanes, droughts, and even mind control? The deeper you go into this rabbit hole, the stranger the story gets. HAARP began in the early 1990s, funded by the U.S. Air Force, the Navy, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. It consists of a massive array of antennas designed to send high-frequency radio waves into the ionosphere, the electrically charged part of Earth's upper atmosphere. Scientists claim the goal is to understand how radio waves interact with the ionosphere to improve communication and surveillance technologies. However, skeptics argue that HAARP is not just a research project. It's a weapon. The U.S. government has a long history of experimenting with weather modification and atmospheric manipulation, from cloud seeding programs to Cold War-era experiments like Operation Popeye, where they attempted to create artificial rain over Vietnam. HAARP, they say, is simply the next evolution of these technologies. One of the most persistent theories about HAARP is that it can manipulate the weather on a global scale. Some believe that by directing powerful electromagnetic waves into the atmosphere, HAARP can disrupt weather patterns, creating hurricanes, controlling jet streams, and even intensifying natural disasters. The idea isn't entirely far-fetched. Scientists have long known that human activities can influence the weather. Cloud seeding, for example, is a well-documented method of modifying rainfall by dispersing chemicals into the air. But HAARP, with its high-frequency radio waves, is suspected of taking it to another level. Over the years, various disasters, from Hurricane Katrina to the earthquake in Haiti, have been linked by conspiracy theorists to HAARP, suggesting that these disasters were engineered for political or economic purposes. Another chilling claim is that HAARP is capable of triggering earthquakes. Some researchers argue that by targeting fault lines with low-frequency electromagnetic waves, HAARP could potentially induce seismic activity. This theory gained traction after the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, where some claim to have seen strange atmospheric disturbances and glowing lights in the sky, phenomena that some link to electromagnetic energy. The devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria in 2023 also reignited HAARP conspiracy discussions, with skeptics pointing to unusual cloud formations seen before the quake. While mainstream scientists dismiss these claims as baseless, the idea that technology could influence seismic activity is not completely impossible. We already know that nuclear tests have caused artificial earthquakes, so could electromagnetic waves also play a role? Beyond weather and earthquakes, there is an even more terrifying claim that HAARP is a tool for mind control. This theory suggests that by sending low-frequency electromagnetic waves into the atmosphere, HAARP could influence brainwave activity, subtly altering human emotions and even controlling populations on a subconscious level. Some theorists believe that HAARP is part of a larger project tied to MK-Ultra, the CIA's infamous mind control experiments. The idea here is that if you can alter the electromagnetic frequencies in the human brain, you can manipulate emotions, induce depression or anxiety, and even drive people to act irrationally. Certain unexplained mass events, such as sudden spikes in violence, civil unrest, or even bizarre collective behavior, have been linked by some theorists to HAARP's potential influence. Critics of these theories argue that HAARP is nothing more than a research tool, and that the technology required to control the weather, trigger earthquakes, or manipulate human thoughts simply doesn't exist at this scale. They point out that HAARP is not a secret facility. It has hosted public open houses, and after 2014, the project was even transferred to the University of Alaska, supposedly for civilian research. Mainstream scientists emphasize that while electromagnetic waves can interact with the ionosphere, they do not have the power to create hurricanes, induce earthquakes, or alter human consciousness. However, skeptics counter by asking, if HAARP is truly harmless, why was it originally funded by military agencies like DARPA and the U.S. Air Force? Why has it been blamed by multiple governments, including Russia and Venezuela, for causing natural disasters? And why are discussions about HAARP often dismissed or ridiculed rather than openly debated? Even if HAARP itself is not a weapon, could there be other, more advanced programs operating in secret? Some theorists believe HAARP is just the tip of the iceberg, a publicly known project that distracts from much larger classified weather control programs. They argue that if world governments had the ability to control the weather, they could weaponize it. Imagine being able to cause droughts in enemy nations, manipulate food supply chains, or even trigger disasters to justify political agendas. Documents from Project Cirrus and Operation Popeye show that governments have been experimenting with weather modification since the 1940s, so why wouldn't they take it further? Regardless of where you stand on the HAARP debate, one thing is clear: weather modification is real, and governments have been exploring ways to control the atmosphere for decades. Whether HAARP is a benign research facility or a covert military operation, it remains one of the most mysterious and controversial scientific projects ever created. The more you dig, the more you realize that we don't fully understand how our atmosphere works, let alone what technology might already exist behind closed doors. So, is HAARP the secret weapon controlling our weather, or is it just another misunderstood science project? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. But if history has taught us anything, it's that whenever governments deny something, there's usually more to the story. Keep questioning, keep researching, and never stop looking beyond the official narrative. Because sometimes, the biggest secrets are hiding in plain sight.